So stupid, man. Okay, I don't understand what that what was that. All right. Well, either we see a rejection here, or I'm gonna have to consider getting out of this position somewhere. I'm betting on the market. I'm betting on the market selling in this area. If we kind of see price kind of continue to go up, then like I said, I have to consider getting out. But this is why I'm betting on this area right here. If this area doesn't, we don't see like a small pullback in this area, then I'll just wait for price to go a little bit higher above this high, and I'll short that instead. Probably 63 will be my next area to short, to try for a short. But the market has just been stair stepping his way up. So I mean, if it's just going to continue to stair step without, a pullback potentially underneath this low right here, well, I just have to be prepared for that. I'm just going to have to be prepared. I'm looking for the market to come underneath this low right here. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a pullback underneath R2. Let's see if we can get it. Mm. Oh crap. I am trading on the I'm looking at the September contract on Bookmap, and I'm still trading June's. Well, hmm. As well, right? Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, Game Weight? What's up, Investor Z? I'm just looking for a pullback here. After this trade, I'm gonna switch to the September contract. Let's switch to the September contract. But shit, if y'all was with me last night, we caught that. Shit, we made 10K in gold last night. A series of beautiful trades. It really goes to show what you can do when you just kind of stop gambling, or when I stop gambling and pay attention to the charts and just wait for areas to strike. But we made so much money in gold last night. So much money. So I'm happy about that. Okay. I mean, ES, it would kind of be nice to kind of just pull back for your boy. That would be nice. We can get a pullback here. I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking for a pullback underneath 6,000 or somewhere in this area. I'm looking for a pullback. Did everybody have a good Father's Day yesterday? Spend time with the kids, all that, et cetera, et cetera. I come to the realization that I have about 3 more years left. It hit that realization. I was like, man, I got to step my game up. I got to pass something down. I got 3 more years. 3 more years. Mm. Mm. Yeah, you gotta think about. Yeah, as usual. As usual. Men are just very universal like that. All the dads around the world, when asked what do they want, they all said in unison, we just want to be left alone. It's just another day. The responsibility does not stop. It does not stop. But that is not a burden, but a privilege. It is not a burden, but a privilege. We get the privilege of always looking for ways to be more efficient, to become better. There's always something to do. And men that accept this privilege, well, they have options. They have people around them that I understand that some people will say that, oh, you only love me for the resources that I provide, but You need to stop watching Disney Channel because nobody loves anybody for nothing. The only people that come into this world and love you for who you are is your children. Everybody else, they want equivalent exchange. Or should at least that. At least equivalent exchange. At least. And some people prefer to have a 60 to 40% in their favor. Sometimes it's even worse than that. But like again, the reason why I took this trade is because it came into this prior area of resistance here. I'm not looking for a reversal. I'm looking for a pullback. It seems like the bears are having a hard time as per usual. Every time price trades up into a previous area of supply, it just seems like it's always a struggle for the bears to kind of get something going. Price needs to always, for whatever reason, go a little bit higher before the bears want to step in. If I get stopped out of this one, I do have another area that I'm looking at. This is the ES. You really can't jump in and out of the ES. You kind of have to wait for confirmation and stuff like that. The one thing that I don't want to happen in this position is getting ticked out and then this thing kind of setting up for the reversal. But I have an 11-point stop for a reason. I mean, if it goes all the way to 11 points and stops me out, well, I'm just gonna have to find the next trade. But like I said, I'll switch to the September contract once I get out of this one. All right. This thing, I mean, I kind of figured that it probably wouldn't have. Let me just give this a couple more ticks so I don't get ticked out above this high. And I'm trading in the Bull Barbie competition account. I didn't necessarily care to trade ES or Nasdaq in this account. I preferred to have traded gold, but the only products available in this competition is only the ES and the Nasdaq. If I was able to trade gold last night, I would be up 12K in this account. But unfortunately, I can only trade the ES and Nasdaq. What my plan is for this account, I'll probably trade the Nasdaq with my NA meeting levels. I'll trade the Nasdaq using those levels, or I'll trade the Nasdaq with this account using those levels, but only those levels. I don't want to get back into the habit of trading the Nasdaq intraday anymore. I enjoy gambling too much, and I enjoy the fact that I'm now moving away from gambling and kind of getting back to the price action. So I don't want to break my sobriety, I guess. So we'll stick with the ES and gold. Let's actually look at gold real quick. It sucks that I can't take a trade in this account. That sucks. Man, that sucks. All right. All right. So we had a breakdown. We had a break underneath this low on gold. Well, Gold. I love gold. Gold, 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 gold. God damn, what the hell just happened? God damn. Look at that. All right. Well, I just lost $2,500. All right. That's not just not too bad. $1,500 is it's a great trade-off in my opinion. Let's actually switch this to the September contract. Oops. Well, I mean, I kind of figured as much. I kind of figured that would have been the case. Um, mm, Bears they just suck. So I mean, they just suck. Mm. Hmm. Mm. I mean, I knew that liquidity run above those highs was going to happen. I was trying to not let that happen. In this situation, I'm going to have to wait and see if this was just like a liquidity sweep above the highs. And you said I got the special rollover. Mm. Oh yeah, so last night. So this week, I wouldn't be too bearish this week. I would not be too bearish. This week is definitely for the bulls. I'm not saying that we won't see any pullbacks, uh, but this week the institutions are 60% long and 40% short this week. So uh, most of my positions will be long sides, but I gotta try the short side positions. I gotta try. I have to try them. But looking at both the Nasdaq and the ES, we're going back to that senior citizen price action. Obviously, you're going to get more movement on the Nasdaq as you're going to see more movement on the Nasdaq, but she's trading like she's a senior citizen too. It's not really going anywhere. It is slowly grinding higher, so that's a sign that as bears are trying to short into this pop, as it continues to go higher, they're shorting into it and they're getting stopped out, fueling this move higher. Well, mm, I know as soon as I try to get into this long, this thing is going to pull back. Man, this is why I didn't want to trade Nasdaq or ES and Nasdaq. You don't look at his trade history for. Damn, bro, what the fuck is even going on, man? Is there news coming out or something? But gain weight, that trader that you met is absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Bears suck, man. Dang. I guess I should have went long. Guess I should have went long then, huh? Mm, mm. All right, we got the 9 o'clock algo coming up in the next 5 minutes. Now some more Iran news drop. Well, I feel like that's going to be the. Isn't it awesome that we play a game where there's always something new to worry about? There's always something new to worry about, dude. So Iran signals it wants to de-escalate hostilities with Israel. Huh. And that's why gold is super dumping, huh? Look at that. And a lot of the stuff that we talked about when it comes to Israel, we're now seeing the mainstream media now coming out and saying these things. Israel is an asset to the United States. Israel is a quote unquote US base without the title. That's where the United States has let me rephrase that. That's where a lot of the operations come out of with the United States and Israel. Just like Biden stated, if Israel didn't exist, they would create Israel. Israel is an asset. And a lot of people online was talking about how Trump gave Iran 60 days to make a decision, and on the 61st day, they were bombed. I find that not a coincidence at all. And Trump's follow-up, what do you call it, tweet on Truth Social was saying that, what did he say? Actually, what did he say? Let me actually look it up so I don't misquote him, because it was, you should have came to the table, now look at you type of tweet. And I was like, dang. And of course, they killed a lot of their leadership. And that is the main tool for war, is to depopulate the area and kill off the leadership so you can usher in a new regime. That is what war is for. Yeah. Actually, let me see if I can just find it, because I'm not going to sit here and look for it. Let me see if I can find it. If I can't find it, then just know that after Trump gave that warning, he sent up he followed up and says, "See, now he sent a now look at you. You didn't listen. Now look at you tweet." And he said something along the lines of, unfortunately, those people can't come back to the negotiation table. So, uh, yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna look too hard for it. If I can't find it, I can't find it. Okay, so I don't think that's it. So it says that so there has already been great death and destruction, but there's still time to make this slaughter, with the next already planned attack being even more brutal. Mm. Okay. Man, I wish I could have traded this in gold. Man, god damn. Man, I wish I could have caught this drop in gold, man. Mm. Oh, so he trades the NQ2. A bear got to be a bear, man. Being a bear is a lifestyle of constant disappointment, of constant disappointment. Fighting the trend. And I will say that so it's interesting that you bring that up, Game Wade. You know, for those that was with me last night, we talked about this. And I also met a trader very similar to myself. And seeing myself reflected in somebody else, it has encouraged a lot of trading, or not a lot of trading, a lot of changes. So if he wasn't with me last night, I read the Market Wizards book. Not the first one, but let me see if I can find it again. It's What Makes Winners Win or something like that. I think that's what it's called. What Makes Winners Win. Let me see if I can find it. What Makes Winners Win. I think I should already have this up. So I was looking at it last night. Yeah, so hedge funds, market wizards, how winning traders win. And there was a trader that he interviewed in this book. And man, I was like, God damn it, that's me. That's exactly me right there. He said that he's just not comfortable trading with the trend. He's more comfortable trading against it. And yeah, you can make money trading against the trend. I think it's called mean reversion. But you can make more money trading with the trend. I just don't feel comfortable trading with everybody else. I just don't. I prefer to counteract the trend. That's just how I prefer the trade. And that's cost a lot of money. I've lost a lot of evals doing that because when it works, it definitely works. But then when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. ES 0925. Um, mm, 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 Okay. Is this thing trolling me or something like that? Why does it do that? Oh. Mine. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Kind of going back to the store. Yeah. I listened to it and I was like, damn, that's me. He prefers to trade against the overall trend. He's more comfortable that way. And in a previous market, that that way of trading may have been very profitable. But in today's market, not so much. Not so much. But it is indeed a habit for sure. So I will be changing the style of my trades. I do have a model that I'm looking for. It will definitely be a shift. Now, we made a lot of money on gold last night, a hell of a lot of money. We made 4K in my Apex account, and then we turned around and made 10K in the sim, doing the same thing, just looking for good trades. And so overall, today, made about almost like what, 15K? 14, 15K in gold last night. And it just goes to show that I mean, I guess if I trade with the trend and if I stop fighting it, that's how profitable I can be. And it was a good showcase of that last night. But man, do I have a natural instinct just to fight the trend and go against it. And this is not a derogatory term to any gold trader at all. But I was in the top step gold chat yet last night, and man, those guys are degenerate. We're going full port every move, full port. Like, yo, is this why gold is trading this way? Because everybody is full porting gold. Everybody is full porting gold in the chat. I thought it was hilarious. I told the guys in there last night, I told the guys just wait for gold to set up, right? I gave literally a free play last night in that chat. I was already in short. So I was telling everybody, wait to see the reaction at 350 to about 348. So this little range I drew right here, this is what I was looking for last night. Wait for price to come to this range and see what happens. If we get a break, short the retest. If it bounces, get in on the bounce. And look what happens. We get a break. And if you just came back and you sold that retest, like I told him just to wait and sell the retest, you would have got an easy move down. An easy move down. Not only would have got an easy move down, but look at this. Look at this move down from this area. Just from this break. of 350 to 348. Beautiful breaker structure down. We have the bulls failing to buy this up, and they failed. All their stops getting ran, and that recovery right there, back up into this area, that's the money trade right there. This is what my model is always looking for, is to trade that pullback, the trade that money trade right there. That's the money right there. That's where the money's at, in that trade right there. That's the money. That's that money trade that I'm looking for on gold. But damn, the ES is it's still trending. Still trending higher. You sound looking for confirmation bias. You know what, Alfred? Yo, that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Just the constant disappointment. Constant disappointment. Here in Texas, you already know everybody has their teams here in Texas. We have a basketball team, we have a football team, we have plenty of colleges to choose from. Texas are very loyal to the teams here in Texas. You can't come here and disrespect the San Antonio Spurs, the Dallas Cowboys, maybe the Mavericks now. But if the Mavericks win a championship this year, then you can't say shit about the Mavericks. And all the colleges, the Longhorns, UTSA. I don't know if TSU got. Anyway, you have everything here in Texas. So you can't come down here disrespecting any of these teams and don't expect to not get no repercussions from that disrespect. When I first came down here to Texas, I was told don't go into areas with other teams placard on your cars, because that would just make your car a target for vandalism, because that's how serious they take it here. Although Dallas Cowboy fans, I'm talking about every time we have a conversation, how about them Cowboys? You can just see the disappointment. Maybe this year. Maybe this year. Maybe this year. The constant disappointment, because you want them to be great. And it's just always constantly disappointing you. Constantly. 448. Yeah, I probably need to. Man, that shit is a money trade, bro. That is the fucking money trade right there. That is the money trade right there. That's the money trade, man. That's the money trade right there. That is the money trade. All right, so we'll see. We'll see if I mean, I doubt it, but here on the ES, we could potentially see a buyer failure here. We'll see though. We'll see. If we can kind of get like a little double top right here, that would kind of be the first step for a buyer failure. But it does look like the buyers are going to keep going on this. Yeah, people take their team seriously, man. It's a, I mean, it's cult like. Everything is a cult. I mean, well, everything is a what's the positive word for cult? Religion? Being a fan? But the behavior is all being a part of a tribe. Yeah, I think that's more the positive thing. Instead of being in a cult, you're in a tribe. People are very tribal. If you're a part of the other tribe, we have to kill you and eat your heart. It's just that simple. Just that simple. I was watching Disney Channel with my daughter, and I bought one of the animator books that I like to read to her at nighttime. I haven't done it in a while, so I have to kind of get back on there. But the book, I don't know if it was in the book. Actually, it was in the book because you know how everybody is animals in Disney, right? Everybody is animals. And so you have Goofy that's a dog and Pluto that is a dog. And obviously they're in different hierarchies in that universe, right? And it was said in the book, well, how do you differentiate between Pluto being, well, not necessarily Pluto and Goofy, but using it as an example, is that Goofy wears clothes and Pluto doesn't. And if you wear clothes, you reign dominion over animals that don't. Now, after I read that, for whatever reason, my brain took that statement into the background and was working on it. And this is what it returned. And it's a very interesting theory. Obviously, this is my assumption. It's a theory. But I feel like that is very symbolic to us, humans. We are all animals. We have animal like tendencies. The only thing that separates us from animals is enlightenment. So, if you have a class, if you have a group of people and you divide them into different classes, we usually divide classes by levels of enlightenment. Those that have, quote unquote, evolved past their animal nature and walk with God, per se. That halo, when you see images of Jesus and you see that halo above his head, that halo is symbolic for enlightenment. And if you kind of transfer that knowledge onto that universe, we're not going to sit here and say that um, that all, because Star Wars has a lot of symbolism in too. So these stories that have big universes and characters, I don't find it coincidence that they use symbolism in all of their work. And if I'm going to use that symbolism, well, the animals that wear clothes, think about it like Adam and Eve. They were amongst animals until they were enlightened and then they realized that they were naked. So what did they do? They put on clothes. And I feel like all that symbology is being depicted in the Disney universe. I mean, it's just that simple. And when I came to that conclusion, I was like, huh, that is a very interesting assumption. Because at the end of the day, we are all animals. We all act animalistically. We say one thing and then we do something completely different. And what we choose to do is usually off of an animalistic impulse. People give up their entire lives. Uh, they take somebody else's life off of just an animalistic impulse of hierarchy. You disrespected me. Now we have to fight to the death. I mean, that's what animals do, right? And I'm not sitting here and saying that we're not immune to this, but it's just a natural reaction to disrespect, to being challenged. It's just a natural reaction. Fighting, just animalistic. So So kind of going back to the point that started this conversation, you can't come into another tribe's territory waving your flag and thinking that you're not going to get any repercussions from that, because you will. Because you will. Regardless if you say, well, blah, 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 logic, blah, blah, blah. I can have whatever I want on my car, and you definitely can have whatever you want on your car. Just know that you'll get vandalized if you're in the wrong spot with that shit on your car. Just know that shit. But he said with his sock puppet. Shit, I'm listening to Disney Channel all day. All freaking day. At this point, I know all the Disney shows now. And I do kind of watch what my daughter watches on Disney too, because Mickey Mouse, yeah, I think that's the only IP that they haven't completely destroyed with ideology. In all the Mickey Mouse shows, it's so basic. It just lets me know that they'll destroy everybody else's IP, but they're not going to destroy their own. They are not going to destroy their own, because there is nothing out of the ordinary in Mickey's world. Nothing. But in everybody else's IPs, everything is this and is that. I find that very interesting. And I'm pretty sure it is not a coincidence. Mickey is actually a really good leader. He is depicted as a very good leader. I will say that he has the qualities of, because he's not only is he he's very what is it? He's firm but strong. Is that the saying? He leads with a soft. Anyway, he's very empathetic, but at the same time, he's quick to call you out on some shit. Like, no, you're not supposed to do that, and this is why. He's a very good leader, and I was like, huh, Mickey's a good fucking leader. And everybody listens to what Mickey be saying. Really good leader. Okay, so nice one. Yeah, I'm on the September contract. I just actually switched this morning myself, Santiago. I think it's Q. I think the September or I think it's Q. Or it may be you. You may be right. I thought it was Q. But you may be right. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I thought it was Q. Okay, so it is you. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I'm on the September contract because I figured everybody's gonna be on a September contract, so I might as well just switch. I usually kind of switch to the last minute, but honestly, you know what? Come on. That's not even fair. That is not even fair, man. That's not fair. That is not fair, man. Only filling 18 of 19 of my contracts. That's not fair. That is not fair. Yeah, are you trading an Apex account? And yeah, that's why I'm not gonna trade my my Apex account, because I made 4K last night. Really made 10K last, or 15, 14K last night. If I lose that money, then that's basically the account gone. So I have to just let that 4K lock in and just come back tomorrow. I'm mad that I can't trade gold. Look at this beautiful drop on gold, man. This is such a beautiful drop on gold. Beautiful drop. Beautiful freaking drop on gold here. Mm. But this is a model that I'm looking for. This is one of the trade models I'm looking for. I'm looking for a move in one direction, a strong move in one direction, and I'm looking to trade that pullback underneath prior swings. So this could be a potential area, but honestly, just gonna let this thing kind of show me what it wants to do. And I'm looking, so my model is I'm looking for buyer and seller failure at support and resistance. And I'm looking for that money pullback trade. A good trade that we took last night, fitting that buyer failure, is right here. This is a great trade that we took last night. Beautiful trade. Uh, we have the bulls failing to push price higher here. They formed a double top. So we entered right here at the break. It did pull back, but from that pullback, we got that strong. So honestly, what maybe I should start doing is waiting for the buyers to fail and then waiting for that pullback. So this could just be a kind of variation of my pullback trade, waiting for one side of the market to fail and just selling the pullback. Because that was a good trade right there. Really good trade on gold. We had a lot of good trades on gold last night. That's why we're up 10K in the account. Hmm. You didn't have to look at that one. You could have just. And for the most part, it does the same thing, right? Yeah, I mean, it does the same thing. It does the same thing. All right, so you got past the okay, so congratulations on that, man. So Santiago, if I'm reading this correctly, you got past the daily drawdown and now you're taking your daily payouts. Oh, okay, all right. So you just need to get past that 2K mark. Okay. You just need to get past it. All right. All right. I mean, everything is here, man. All right. So I'm in a full position right now. I'm in my full position. See what happens. Well, actually, I'm not in a full position. I'm almost there, though. I mean, if they just keep on grinding this thing higher, I mean, without a pullback. If they keep grinding this higher without a pullback, if we just trade past resistance and it just continues to go, man, it just would have been nice to have been in this long. That would have been nice. Probably like what, 66? Yeah. You can see a pullback to 66. 66. Yeah, 66, probably like 50, 66 to 50. Yeah. He says like, well, I'm not a I'm not a bro, I'm not a bull. I'm a bear. I'm a bear. I'm looking for shorts. And this market keeps cheating to sell those shorts, man. But like I said, I'm going to start I guess taking longs and trading with everybody else and make more money, I guess. And where's the fun in that? But and then that's exactly what I said to myself. I talked about this last night. I said, where's the fun in that? And then I had to ask myself, so it's fun to lose money? And I was like, actually, no, it's not. It's not fun to lose money. Fighting the trend is fun, but the losing the money part is not fun. It is definitely not fun. The losing the money part. A lot of other good things that I've taken from this book is, I mean, stuff that we've already kind of talked about. What losing would mean and why we chase losers and why we lock in our winners. It's literally the game of being right. You lock in your wins so you can stay right. You stay in a loser. So right now you're wrong. You don't want to accept that you're wrong, hoping that it pops up back to at least your break even so you can be right again. It's literally just that simple. Just listening to other people with years and years and years of experience. And we're talking about people that were trading the Nasdaq when it was literally trading at 5,000. Just imagine holding a contract from 5,000 and now is at like 22K. Crazy. Let's ask let's ask the AI how much on one contract. So if I bought the Nasdaq, so as crazy as this sounds, and I guess in terms of time, as crazy as this sounds, I would only be up, and I wanted to emphasize on the word only. If I bought the NASDAQ at $5,000, or when the contract was trading at 5,000, I would only be up around 300K. 300K. That's it on one contract. Now, if you had a 10 lot, then yeah, shit, you good. Yeah, only because you got to think about it in time. Like, The Nasdaq was like, when was the Nasdaq trading at 5,000? So yeah, that's like only 300K. So according to AI, the first time that the Nasdaq reached the 5,000 mark was on March 9th of the year 2000. I was 2 years old when that shit happened. Or no, I wasn't. My bad. Like 12. So for 25 years, you had a contract sitting for 25 years and it only made 300,000. That's where that only word comes from. That's where it's like, oh, only? For 25 years it only made 300K? Roughly around that area? But like I said, if you had a 10 lot, yeah. I mean, that would actually be good, but for just only one contract, I mean, but still, I mean, if you had a 10 lot, I don't know. I guess okay. So I don't know. I guess in terms of percentage and the time, it spent 25 years just to only make 300K. It doesn't sound too appealing. I don't think you can sell anybody. It says, yeah, in 25 years I can make you 300K. I don't think anybody would take that. Huh. You said around like 612, 618. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. If it does not reject here at this range, I mean, well, if they don't reject it here at this range and we see a breakout and a pop or a breakout and the bulls holding it, well, I'm just going to have to probably come back tomorrow because or wait for the market to finally pull back for a long opportunity. Like I said, I don't think this is a reversal. If we get a pullback here, I think that's all we get. Just a pullback. I should have known that this would have been an I should have known I should have known that the Bears are going to get taken out of this. I should have known with my first short, but as a bear I have to try. I should have known. And technically this is a breakout from that area. So the market this is actually a good area for the market to come back to, and this is a good area to potentially look for long. So this is a good area right here because this is technically a breakout. It's technically a breakout right there. So actually, I need to actually put this like right here. Yeah, at least put that right there. That's the break too, right there, 99. Yeah, there's gonna probably be buyers here. It's gonna probably be buyers right there. I mean, unless this thing just going to continue to ride up the 21 EMA and pop. And so apparently, so at 10 o'clock today, we have Trump meeting with the Canada Prime Minister. That'll be interesting. I think that so no disrespect, but I feel that this is a good example of what emotional leadership looks like. I watched this video about Canada's leadership, and from what I gathered, and this could be biased, this could be biased, but kind of just how the Democrats are behaving towards Trump. They're not saying that anything that Trump is doing is wrong. It's just that Trump is doing it. Canada, or at least the leadership over there, has that same ideology. Just because it's Trump, we're going to go against it, even if it's beneficial. And when you have leadership that defaults to that type of thinking, everybody around them suffers. I think that was what's his name, Dubois or whatever his name is. That was his fault too. And this emotional leadership, weak people in powerful positions, it's very interesting how the same results happen over and over and over and over again. It's like a social experiment at this point, where they're trying to try the same experiment in different areas, looking for different results, but the results tend to always be the same from weak emotional leadership. Now, kind of like what I was talking about with Mickey Mouse shows great leadership. Like I said, he's very empathetic. He understands that the people that he's responsible for, they all have their own hopes, dreams, aspirations, all that. So he acknowledges that. But when they deviate from the ultimate goal, he redirects them and says, hey, this is our focus and this is what we need to accomplish. And if our leaders or the leaders that have been put into these positions had that same ideology, there'll definitely be a lot of different things happening. But unfortunately, we don't get that. We get what we get. Trump is he's very old school. He's very my way or the highway. You can't be too extreme and one in your leadership style. You can't be too extreme, because you'll have people like the Democrats will rebel without cause. They're just rebelling just to rebel because it's you. You're the common enemy that brings everybody together. And honestly, I had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn that personally. If you become a common enemy, you become the glue to a tribe. You become the glue to a family. And once you remove yourself as the common enemy, what people usually do is they usually eat themselves. And you can see that in the Democratic Party. It's just interesting how these same cycles of behaviors come out with the same cycle of results. the common enemy, and once that enemy is dead or gone, then they look for somebody else to eat. And when there's nobody else to eat, they start to eat themselves. And we see that time and time and time and time and time again. At this point, I'm surprised that we still do it, but I guess it's one of those animalistic tendencies that we just can't help but to do. But all right, so we're getting a bounce off of the 21 EMA again. It looks like this thing is just going to keep grinding. So if this trade turns out to be a loser, I'm just going to have to come back tomorrow and look for something else, because, or wait for the pullback, because they're not going to make this pullback easy. It just seems like price is just going to grind past supply, and it's just going to continue to go higher. So I guess that's what we should expect, I guess. Because this thing doesn't look like it's trying to slow down at all. Yeah, looking like we're not getting no kind of slowdown at all. This thing is not slowing down whatsoever. It has already traded past all areas of supply so far. Yeah, it's even grinding up into, that shit's just grinding up. And this is why I don't care to trade indices anymore. I don't care to trade indices just because of stuff like this. This is exactly why I don't care to trade the Nasdaq or the ES. Because whenever the market is being held up by whatever is being held up, this is the price action that we get. And then this is where the manipulative mind games come in. I mean, technically, wouldn't that be it right there? Yeah, I mean, technically that would be it. I mean, okay, so we got that push. All right, so we got the push down. I mean, technically, I guess that would be it right there. And then we got the pullback. 27. Ugh. All right, so if we can get a break below, if you can get a break below 990, we can get a move to about 780, or yeah, 680, and potentially 665. But I would, because I prefer the short game with. I hate going long. Let me rephrase that. I just don't like going long. I prefer to see the red. The bulls take the elevator. I mean, this might not even be true anymore. It may not even be true. At least for right now, it's not true. But when I started out, the bulls took the stairs and the bears got to take the elevator down as long as they were patient. When you see the market drop rapidly, it's definitely it's exciting. It definitely becomes a dragon that you continuously chase, for sure. It becomes a dragon that you chase, or it has become a dragon that I've chased. And it's not just me. Every bear knows this. We all say the same shit. When you just see red candles and it just rapidly falling out due to fear, buyers failing, people trying to get out of their positions, you just see the market drop. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. And once you're a part of it once, you want to be a part of it again. It becomes a dragon you chase. But we don't get that as bears anymore. But that's logically. We know that in order to get our high, quote unquote, we have to put on a lot of risk because obviously we're going through FOMO. We don't want to miss it. We don't want to miss it. So we have to kind of get into areas where we think the market will react at. And then we have big stops because we know that we know that the market is going to disappoint us. So I prefer to take the shorts. And it's not like the ES gave any opportunities to go long today. And there was no real opportunity to go long. Yeah, if you kind of, in hindsight, if you kind of got in because it was kind of trending up on the 21 EMA, if you bought at the 21 EMA, yeah, you definitely would be up. But that's not a viable strategy. It's not like I'm shorting at random areas either. I'm not shorting at random areas. But I prefer to take the elevator down. It's just that we don't get that ride to hell anymore. We only get the stairway to heaven. Isn't that interesting, isn't it? That's so interesting now that I'm thinking about it. The bears take the stairs to heaven, or the bulls take the stairs to heaven, while the bears get to take the elevator down the hill. That's very interesting. I wonder if that's done purposely. Like, just imagine being a part of this. Oh man, look at that. Look at that beautiful drop. That is every bear's dream to be a part of this right here. This is what we short for right here. I mean, who wants to take the elevator to heaven when I can just take the stairway to heaven when I can take the elevator all the way down to hell? That's what we trade for. But for whatever reason, we don't get that. Not anymore. Well, shit, I don't see no opportunity to go long, gain weight. And like I said, I'm short at a previous area of supply. That's why I'm short. I'm betting on the bears coming back in this area. And I'm not looking for a reversal. Again, I'm just only looking for a pullback. Not looking for a reversal, but just a pullback. I'm not shorting at any place random. I'm not shorting as it goes higher just because it's going higher. I'm shorting at a previous area of supply. feel like these prop firms be getting quotes from Chat GPT and just sending emails out. Not saying that that's not a bad strategy, but the four C's: charts, candles, confluence, and confirmation. Wow, that's dude, no freaking way. Okay, so I think Take Profit Trader is listening to me. How like what are the odds that Take Profit Trader is referencing a quote from a book that I literally just read this weekend? I think Take Profit Trader is listening to me. It literally referenced a book that we just got done talking about. Mm. I guess I got to look for areas where market participants can be trapped. Mm. Um, so Santiago said it respected the ADR to the T, but no clear direction. Mm. Uh, well, gain weight. You said why do I think that? So, why do I think that? Let me turn my chart trader off. The reason why I think this is a potential supply. I mean, obviously, this is an assumption. I'm making a bet that this is, but from this area, we have price breaking lower. We have price coming back, failing to break back above this range, and then turn around and using this range as resistance. And from this area, we got this big move down, a pullback, and then we had a follow through. Now, I'm betting that once price taps back into this area, that there's still going to be sell limits sitting here, and it's going to be enough sellers to pull price back. I'm not looking for a reversal. I want to make that very clear. If price reverses here, it would be a surprise to me. But I do expect for the market to pull back. And as Santiago said, that this is an area, an ADR right here, in the same area where there were prior area where the bulls failed to push it higher and the bears took control and sold price down. So this is why I'm betting on this area to be supply, resistance, short term. And as you can see, it love tapped the bottom of this range perfectly. And we're not seeing necessarily a reversal or pullback, but we are seeing a rejection here. So that kind of tells me I'm in the right area, but it doesn't mean that I'll necessarily be right because obviously we know news can come out. A nasty bullish engulfing candle can stop me out and hurt my feelings. I know that can happen, but I'm going to take the trade. I'm going to take it. I've already taken it. I'm going to take the trade. And if I'm wrong, I'll just accept that. I'll just accept it if I'm wrong. I don't believe in the ideology of what people say. Like, honestly, and it's no disrespect to nobody. It really isn't. It's just, for me, I don't like stuff like that. Stuff like happy wife, happy life. I feel like that's, for the lack of better words, that's who people that got defeated say. I wish, what's the saying? I'd rather be out of a trade than wishing that or wishing that I was in, or something like that. Wishing I was in and hoping that I was, whatever that stupid saying is. No, I'm going to be in the trade. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'm just going to use the experience as what it is, a learning experience. Because regret is all cute to say that shit until you run into a situation where if you got in, not only would you have been right, you would have been super right. And what does that do for the next trade? You're going to tell yourself the same shit? No, you're going to get in because you're going to remember that the first time, or you're going to remember the previous situation where you didn't take that trade and it worked out and you didn't take it. So I just take all the trades. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. It's just easier on the psychology. At least I tried. I want to say at least I tried. Get rich or damn die trying. At least I tried. So I don't feel the pain of regret. I mean, just imagine feeling the pain of loss and regret at the same time. That's not a good feeling. Specific respects. I mean, gain weight, man. You have to accept this new market is for quants, man. These quants use mathematics. They use trend lines. I mean, shit. I mean, all I can do is bring back up. Look how perfectly the market is still respecting this trend line from last week. Shit, more than last week. The market respects trend lines, man. It respects these mathematical levels. I mean, that's just the market that we're in. And like I said, sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. I mean, that's just a part of the game. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. So so it looks like, yeah, it did. It tapped that ADR perfectly. And you're looking for 97, so around 97, 96 for price to tap. That does look like a good area, though. That does look like a good area for price to potentially bounce at right there. I'll make sure I keep that in mind. Yeah, 95, 96 around R4. Yeah, that does look like a good little spot right there, doesn't it? Yeah, that does. But if we can get a break underneath 90, if we can get a break underneath about like 90, 93-ish, yeah, I'll just, yeah, we're like around R4. If we can get a break, it would just be nice if this thing would just pull back to this area right here. This will be a good area to go long. I may even consider going long here. I may consider going long. This is a good area to go long. If the bulls can hold this pullback right here, that's a great area to go long. Uh, Damn, being an ES trader sucks. Man, she ain't gonna give this shit to you easy. Being a gold trader is beautiful, man. Look at this. Look at this move I'm missing, man. Look at this move. And man, do I gotta point it out? This is why I'm a gold trader. Look how it, man. Look at that beautiful freaking move right there. Look at that, man. This is why I'm a gold trader. I don't have to deal with that shit with the Nasdaq and ES. Look at what the price action was on the chart before we talked about it. Looking for that strong move higher and looking for pullbacks at prior swings. Look at that. Look at that. It came, it touched the first one perfectly. And we got this big move higher. And I'm over here struggling on the freaking ES with the senior citizen price action when I can be already done over here on gold. I really enjoy trading gold, man. No bullshit, just price action, man. No bullshit, just price action. No waiting for news, no waiting for the bullshit, just the price action. Beautiful trade, man. Beautiful trade. Perfect entry, beautiful trade. And this is why waiting on that pullback, that's why this is the money trade. This is why this is the money trade right here. Because what is this? So at this low is around 408. So it's about like 13 points high right now. Just about 13 points. 13 points right now. All my targets would have been hit by now. And I would have had probably just like a runner or something that I probably would have put up here at the value area low. And I'm sitting over here struggling over here on the ES. He said, you know what I want? Nah. Stop trying to tempt me. So I'm looking at the Nasdaq and she's trading the same way that freaking ES is trading with the senior citizen price action. I feel like the ES has probably moved more than the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is still consolidating in a tight range up here in midair. At least the ES somewhat kind of pulled back. Mm. Actually, probably what I should do is just probably just take off 20 right there and leave 10 to run. Nah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it like that. Nah, I told her it was through. I told her we through. I told her we through. I don't want to go back. I'll go back to Nasdaq when gold start acting up. When she starts to get comfortable. And when she starts to think that she can just do things because she thinks she's my only option, but she ain't. She's my choice. She ain't my only option, but she's definitely my choice for right now. And you gotta make that very clear. You are not my only option, but you are definitely my choice. And if you choose to play around with that, well, shit, you can become an option, but you won't be my choice. And these fair value gaps, man, shit. Look at these fair value gaps, yo. Working. Ugh. Just like a quick little scalp here at this fair value gap, like a quick little scalp. I don't know why anybody would want to trade like that, but you said that the ES is giving you lower lows. Yeah, on this little leg right here, yeah, for sure. I think the Nasdaq is trying to. So if I look at a Nasdaq chart, let me actually look at it. I think the Nasdaq is trying to get to at least 2250 before we see a drop. We could see 22.5 being an area where the Nasdaq or where the bulls take profits. If we don't see a buyer failure underneath 950, if we see the bulls fail here and the bears come back and hold 950, we could potentially see a pullback back to about like 870, 880 potentially. And I want to really emphasize the word pullback. I don't want to use the word reversal. We're not in an area where price can reject. So right now, I think the only thing that the market can do is pull back. Yeah, this thing's gonna be probably slow all day like that. Let me look at the volume right now. So we're no longer trading. We're no longer trading that. So we can just take this. We can take this off. We can take off the June contract since we're no longer trading it. We can actually take off my Bitcoin because we're not trading Bitcoin either. Keep this thing clean as possible. Take this off. Okay, so ES 925. I'm not sure. All right, so damn, there's more people trading the ES than the MES. More people trading the ES. Oh, that's interesting. Are we on the wrong contract? Should we be over there at ES? That is so interesting. This is the first time that I've ever seen that. There's more people trading the full size mini than the actual micro contract. That is interesting. That's interesting. I know that I know the MNQ is that's always going to have the most volume. Yeah, that's always going to have the most volume. You're not going to see too many people because a lot of people can't even afford to trade the full mini on the Nasdaq because of the margin requirements on it. If I'm not mistaken, a lot of the brokers now require you to have a $500 per micro. I mean, you can open a trade if you have like 50 or if you had like the bare minimum, but they're starting to require $500 just for micros. So, well, I guess that shouldn't be a surprise. I guess why not buy at the fair value gap? Why not, right? Why not? Hmm. That's so interesting that the ES has the most volume trading in it right now. That's so interesting. I wonder if that's if I wonder if there's a reason for that. There's more people trading the ES than they're trading the MNQ today. Why is that? Hmm. I wonder if game weight, would you know? Shit, if anybody knows, shit. It's 10:17. Mm. Well, this the Golden Sisters over here trying to figure out what direction they want to trade in. Our girl Gold over here. All right, so okay, so about like 7:30. Yeah, that would have broke right through it. But then at the same time, you have to look like, why would you? I mean, you got that right there. I mean, that would have been crazy to just to look at the chart and would want to go short. Mm. Well, like I said, if I get a full position in this move, man, that thing tapped that area perfectly and dropped. Well, mm, I mean, I still would have won right there. It still would have been a winning trade. Mm, Damn, gold super dropped. That's crazy. It's always going to work out that way. Instead of trying to be cute with it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, all you gotta do is trust it at this point. Because yeah. And that's why you can't do that. That's why you can't. That's why you can't do it. Well, I mean, that's not the direction the market's trying to trade it though. Do that. It's just a verified thing. And I guess that shouldn't be a surprise. And I missed it too. Okay, so when it's like that wide like that, probably give it. Game one says that everybody's trying to ES because I'm short. Mm, 425, 423 on gold might be a good short, maybe 420, 425 to about 420. So 426 to 423 could potentially be a good short on gold, but most likely probably 26 or 25. Probably 25 or 23. Let's see. We're looking at the Nasdaq. All right, so the Nasdaq is getting to that 22K. Yeah, I'm actually looking for a 996. Okay, never mind. About to say I'm looking for a rejection right here, or at 2205 or 4, 2205 or 4. It looks like we're getting a little bit of volume. We're getting the Golden Sisters woke up from their nap. Looks like we got we got some more liquidity for whatever reason. Wonder why people are now getting into both the Nasdaq and ES. And we're getting some volume into it now. Hmm. He said they're stream sniping. Dude, honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if that's actually the truth. They're hunting my stops. They're hunting my stops. They're hunting my stops. They're hunting my stops. Oh, that's hilarious. How do they know? Or the market makers are watching everybody's streams. They're hunting our simulated stock. Actually, let's stop calling them that. Man, we're trading in the real markets, man. We're trading in the real markets. The markets didn't start trading like this until props started became a big thing. These are real accounts. And that's why I gain weight. That's why I believe this area is an area of resistance. It tapped that range perfectly and we're seeing a rejection. But like I said, I'm waiting for the pullback here. I'm waiting for the pullback. I mean, we're not out of this yet, though. We're not out of this yet. Our first target hasn't been hit yet. So we're still in this. Hmm. Yeah. For whatever reason, it's not fulfilling. For whatever reason, it's not fulfilling, man. It is not. It is not. It just leaves a hole. It creates a bottomless hole for whatever reason. It makes no sense. The human experience is just stupid. Man. Winning does not, for whatever reason, winning means that you're at the finish line and that you're at the end. But losing means that you still have ways to go. Stupid, man. Stupid, stupid, stupid contradiction. I want to be a winner, but I don't want to be a winner. That's why Olympians have to create the habit of running past the finish line. Instinctively, we have a habit of once we see the end goal, we slow down. And Olympians have been taught this. Just through reviewing the tape, going through the data, people slow down. They start to ease off the pedal when they get to the finish line. That's why you have to create the mindset of running past the finish line. The human experience. You do all that training to be great. And then once you get to the destination, you want to slow down and say, I'm not ready to get there yet. I'm not ready to be here yet. Okay. I'll give this position about 3 more minutes. And whatever happens after that um, happens. I got to go. I'm about out of time for this session, right? Actually, I'm already out of time, but we'll see. We'll give this position about 3 more minutes. Gameway Hunter, he says, you know, Shorty with you. Shorty, I'm not. Damn. Yeah, 25 looks like a good area. We'll see what happens when price gets here. But honestly, uh, I'm more when it comes to gold, I can trade with the trend. I can trade in the direction of the leg, not necessarily the overall trend. I mean, we had a big break of structure down here on gold. Man, who knows, man? I feel that because we had such a big move down and then we have this massive stop run underneath these lows, I think that we'll probably see price actually take out all these highs and potentially get back up to probably 448, 450 on gold. I think that's where the market wants to get to. I think that's the bull's current objective is to get back up there. Yeah, that's exactly right, game weight. I do need to stay away from the NQ. She's an addiction. She's an addiction. My name is Nasdaq Anonymous, and I'm addicted to the NQ. And boy, is she one hell of a drug. Trading the Nasdaq is one hell of a drug for sure. I don't know why people give gold so much hate. I feel like gold is straightforward. Gold is a very straightforward instrument to trade. I don't understand why anybody feels that gold is toxic. She's very straightforward. And I understand that they're talking about the forex side. I understand that, but I look at the price action and then I still don't get it. I still don't get it. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, if I'm looking at a gold chart, and this will probably be the last thing we talk about, but well, this will be the last thing we talk about. If I look at a gold chart, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Let me look at an hourly chart and see what it's talking about. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Gold USD. Overall is in an uptrend. Right now, this is a pullback, not a reversal. It's not a reversal until it takes out this low. It's not a reversal until they take that low out. Then it'll be a reversal. And then it'll be a new trend. I don't know. I really don't see why. There's nothing about this price action that would say that gold is toxic. It's kind of like it's very straightforward. Very straightforward price action. And if you drew this trend line, we got a false breakout above the highs. It came right back and tested that trend line. We had a false break into it, a pull back, and if you fought literally the top of that trend line, and used all them stops right here.
50th birthday, if you will, of the G7.
I mean, I feel that once you understand that gold uses people's stops, and if you see the chart for price action and where the stops are going to be at,
many issues.
I feel like gold becomes very straightforward to trade.
Technology, and working hand in hand with the United States, Canada and the United States, and the other G7 partners with your leadership. Very much looking forward to the meeting and grateful to have you.
Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it, and we've developed
a
very good relationship, and we're going to be talking about trade and many other things. And we have a whole group of people, and some traders and some other people. I see my top economy people. But we have a very talented group of people, and you do too.
Well,
and I know they work together very well. I look forward to that. The G7 used to be the G8. Barack Obama and a person named Trudeau didn't want to have Russia in. And I would say that that was a mistake, because I think you wouldn't have a war right now if you had Russia in. And you wouldn't have a war right now if Trump were president 4 years ago. But it didn't work out that way. But it used to be the G8. And now it's, I guess, what's that, 8 years ago, it switched over. They threw Russia out, which I claimed was a very big mistake. Even though I wasn't in politics then, I was very loud about it. It was a mistake in that you spend so much time talking about Russia, and he's no longer at the table. So it makes life more complicated. But you wouldn't have had the war. Other than that, I think we're going to accomplish a lot. And I expect to. And I think our primary focus will be trade and trade with Canada, and I'm sure we can work something out.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah, so much. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, up a deal with Canada. What is holding up a deal with Canada from your perspective?
It's not so much holding up. I think we have different concepts. I have a tariff concept. Mark has a different concept, which is something that some people like. But we're going to see if we can get to the bottom of it today. I'm a tariff person. I've always been a tariff. It's simple, it's easy, it's precise, and it just goes very quickly. And I think Mark has a more complex idea, but also very good. So we're going to look at both, and we're going to see what we're going to come out with something. Hopefully.
Mr. President, are you on the deal on Iran? Do you think a deal is achievable within days, within weeks? Is there that kind of runway?
Yeah, it's achievable. Both parties have to agree. Yeah, sure.
Mr. President,
have you heard any signals or seen any messages from intermediaries that Iran wishes to de-escalate the conflict? What have you heard? What have you heard from the Iranians?
They'd like to talk, but they should have done that before. I had 60 days, and they had 60 days, and on the 61st day, I said, we don't have a deal. They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
And what would you say, in your opinion, what would it take for the U.S. to get involved in this conflict militarily?
I don't want to talk about that.
And you mentioned Putin. Do you think that he should have a seat at the G7 today, that it should be the G8?
I'm not saying he should at this point, because too much water's gone over the dam, maybe. But it was a big mistake.
All right, guys, that's it for me.
Didn't want him.
I'm out of time for this session. I'm going to leave this position on, and we'll see what happens. But we'll definitely come back later on tonight, and we'll definitely look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody.